Hi, this is Dan Collins coming to you live once again from the Traders Expo in Chicago. And joining me is Dr. Carl Luft, Professor Emeritus at DePaul University. Carl and I have been talking about his work at the Fred Arditi Center and the importance of educating tomorrow's traders. And it's not an easy thing. We're trying to do that at the Money Show, but most of the people who are speaking at this show and most of the traders started their careers on the trading floor as a runner, working the phones and learning in that, the heat of battle of the trading floor, but the trading floors are gone. How important is it now for people, to step up and find new ways to learn about markets?
Well, it's extremely important, and not having the trading floors and that pool of talent that was attracted to the floor, it's a big handicap. It's a handicap for the industry. It's also a handicap for the universities. Now, DePaul University being in downtown Chicago, we certainly would like to exploit our geographic advantage, but the students have to understand what the industry needs. And I was speaking to Dan earlier. One way that we're attempting to address this problem within the university is to hold extracurricular activities, invite industry speakers, and tell the students, there's no easy route. This is really tough. It's risk management. It's based on the transfer of risk. And you have to understand the components. You have to understand hedgers, you have to understand speculators, you have to understand arbitrage. And we can do this in a curriculum, but unfortunately we don't have a lot of students who seem to be genuinely interested in the industry as a whole. They pick out pockets of things. Cryptocurrency is very popular now, and people come and ask me about that. And I said, it's if it's a future, and the CME has the futures contracts on crypto, said means of risk transference, and I said the risk is always going to get, it never disappears. It's always going to be there.
Yeah, and there's educational, I think Trading Technology has partners with you, because I think at another time I told you the story, we profiled the 25 most innovative people in the industry, and we talked to Leo Melamed and Dr. Sander, and I got to the end of it, and it's like a third of these people started out as runners. Yeah. But that's where you're ahead of the game, because Fred Arditi, and I think starting out with Leo Melamed, was interested in working with the academia a long time ago.
Yes. Leo and Fred and Richard Sander truly recognized the need for students and how to inspire them in order to pursue a career in the industry. And I am not Fred Arditi by any means, or Leo Melamed, but my wife says, I can bore people for hours at cocktail parties when you hit the derivatives button. But the students coming out now, one thing about our Chicago students, and DePaul is mostly local, students have very good work ethic, they're willing to learn, and not everybody's going to be attracted, but it makes it doubly important to do external programs and use our location to introduce the students to the local firms as well as the exchanges.
Yeah, and when you talk to listeners out there, this isn't trading. People talk about trading, but technology is a huge part about it. Back office.
Yes.
A lot of jobs disappeared, but there's still a lot of jobs related to the industry, and it's risk will always be there, right?
Risk will always be there. The technology has changed. Risk will always need to be managed. The technology to manage it continuously evolves. And I tell my students, if you're looking for do as much as you can with technology. And you can certainly get a degree in finance or a degree in business. You can get a degree in computer science, then you need to come the other way. You need to learn about the markets as well.
Yeah, and what, we mentioned that Dr. Richard Sander is going to be speaking here at the events later today. What he always liked to quote, the famous quote, skate to where the puck is going and not to where it is.
Yes.
So there's going to be new risks. So the real innovators out there, people who realize where risks are coming from, and those are going to be the new products, aren't they?
Exactly, yes. There's always going to be risk, and there's always going to be innovation within the industry to deal with the risk. And those that can innovate successfully will be extremely successful within the industry. But once again, the root problem is enticing young people to learn about the industry and learn it from the floor, or the ground up. We no longer have the floor. But that's one reason why we try to do as much as we can with internships. And we've had some wonderful partners with student internships. And one of the benefits of DePaul and the Arditi Center is our Chicago students are not constrained to just a summer internship. We can have them, usually the internships are structured as 10 weeks. But if the student works well and it pleases the firm, that can be extended. We're more than happy to do that. And that's a benefit that our students have that we really tell them they should exploit.
Yeah. Well, and as we said, that's one of the goals we do at MoneyShow and Traders Expo right here. The Fred Arditi Center is keeping it, working to educate people on trading. I should remind people they still trade options on the floor, and it's only about 2 blocks away from the Chicago downtown location of DePaul.
Yes, it is. It always has been, and I used to take my students on field trips there, and we had a wonderful. That was before 9/11. Then you couldn't get on the floor, but we would just walk down the street, and what was amazing with those field trips was how the people from the exchanges and the industry, such as Shelley Nattenberg, validated what I was doing in class. Only they wouldn't listen to me, but they certainly listened to someone from the exchange.
Well, and that was a problem because it's a lot more exciting to see it live.
Yes. But that's the secret to inspiring them. You have to make it come alive.
All right, Carl, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dan. Pleasure.
All right, this has been Dan Collins live from Traders Expo Chicago with Carl Luft from the Fred Arditi Center.